Previously on Zartholomew, I ran a test to see if I misunderstood ReZero Season 1. Long story incredibly short, I did. I've switched sides. I'm a turncoat. Sorry to those of you who still hate it, you are wrong. Since then, numerous amounts of people have suggested that I not only keep watching, but review the later seasons as well. I can't find a reason to refuse. Hello team, I hope this video finds you well. My name is Zartholomew. It's kind of like Bartholomew, but with a Z. Today, I will be experiencing ReZero Seasons 2 to 3 as a first-time viewer, an ex-Season 1 hater. Streets told me it only gets better. And in this era of my life, I struggle to even doubt them. But just how much better are we talking? Surely you can't be a different animal and the same beast. There's gotta be a limit. Now, before we jump in, I want to preface this by establishing some boundaries. When I review something, I try to be as vague as possible without going into excruciating detail. I believe the original channels are the best way to experience the art. Since that is the case, if I tell you everything that happens, when it happens, how it happens, and why it happens, I would effectively be fishing for you instead of teaching you how to fish. Or, in this case, over-explaining my appreciation by repeating the formula to you every time before discussing the variables. It's excessive, in my opinion. I could do it, but I won't. If you have not seen ReZero Seasons 1 through 3, I strongly encourage you to watch or read it for yourself. Please, do not let this video, or any video for that matter, be your first consumption of the media. Alright, that's enough yapping, let's jump into it. What a way to start a season. At Asilla8977, this comment wasn't funny and I hate your guts. I thought we got the good ending. Unfortunately, we did not. This is the way. I say this because although it hurts, I'm immediately thrown right back into the action. This is a good continuation of the story that smoothly transitions well into the next arc. I'd rather the story progress this way than to feel disjointed. In many stories, we often achieve our goal and end on a good note. Then we create new conflict. But ReZero is different. This is a continuation of the same conflict, in which Subaru is forced to live with major repercussions. Repercussions that are now irreversible via his power. It's incredibly genius to tell the story this way, because it does two things. As stated earlier, it progresses the story in a way that feels continuous and cohesive. The second is that return by death as a concept doesn't become stale. Thinking about it a bit more intensely, you can't have one without the other. Because Subaru is forced to continue from where he is, return by death can no longer be looked at as the one saving grace. They've been hinting that relying on this power alone would someday not be enough, and today is that day. Dude, I love that in the face of probably the most infamous and dangerous beings alive, Subaru is Subaru. Calling her pretty by accident by mentioning that she's not prettier than Emilia is ridiculous in a good way. This show makes me giggle and smile too much, and it's getting sickening. And he is a stronger man than me, because I'm going. Don't look at me like that, I will stay here. Other notes include, Subaru is so good at public speaking, bro. That is his village and that is his queen. Yay, Emilia has friends. Hey, has anyone seen Puck? The idea in Subaru's head about wanting his family to make him give up is deep. Though he was having problems, his mom and his dad never once treated him any different. Normally, this is a good thing, but not when you yourself hate the way you act. It can lead to a crippling depressive state, one that is terrifyingly hard to shake. I found episode 4 to be incredibly important to understanding Subaru a bit more. It made me laugh, then made me cry soon after. And after the storm, the first thing Subaru says to this woman is, "You look good in that uniform." You freaking womanizer. Pass the controller, bruh. You're already double boxing. Leave some for the rest of us. Greed! Greed! Other notes include, thanking the witches, scaring the witches, befriending the witches. Rosewall is kind of like good Thanos. The Bow Hunter? What a shit name, honestly. Echidna. What a wonderful representation of greed, and not at all like the greed that I know. Pleading for Subaru to tell her how he feels. And finally being able to tell someone about Return to Death is so overwhelmingly freeing, I'm glad he was able to do it. Because the rest of the episodes make me feel locked in a damn cage, and Jigsaw is speaking to me over the intercom. Also, for the Witch of Greed to say that even if she could understand the Witch of Envy, she wouldn't want to, tells us a lot about the Witch of Envy. Other notes include, Subaru is really the father that stepped up. Instantly, he changes direction. He takes initiative to test what changes. This guy is playing an Otto game, but more dark. It's a shame this results in more negatives than positives. Here go bro rizzing the witches again, talking about, I don't want to forget you, and drinking her bodily fluids. Roswaal knows about return to death. Dude, what a ride. I'll start with comments on episode 12. This is actually my favorite way of thinking about life. It's easy to understand Roswaal's acceptance of his death if we take into account his perspective of time. Subaru is effectively abandoning worlds that live on to reset his own, meaning that to the people of that timeline, he dies, and they have to live with him being dead. It's especially sad to see how Amelia reacts and soul-crushing to imagine how many Rims are left without their heroes. This is an incredibly dark way to think about multiverse theory, but my previous statement still stands. I like to think of it in brighter terms, such as, every decision I've ever made makes me the me that I am right now. There exist many of me that chose differently. How can I have regrets if I've made the choice in another timeline? And why should I fear death if I've already died? If I keep talking about this, we'll be here for hours. Anyway, Echidna telling Subaru that he should be proud of the people he has saved rather than the people he failed to save is nice. Why is this woman so nice? I thought the witches were evil. Then there's episode 13. Subaru is asked, when will you realize you should be included on the list of people who are being saved? And it got me thinking. This reminds me of something I learned from my top 0 romantic comedy, Snafu. Sacrificing yourself hurts others more than it hurts you. And unknowingly or not, if you are causing that hurt, you are the one in the wrong. Which I happen to agree with wholeheartedly. Meaning, the witches' comment that Subaru is just as vile, if not more vile than the witches, for his idea of who's suffering, is very valid. Other notes include, I know hell, I've seen it many times, is such a tough line. Oh my fucking God, my hero. Amelia's dead figuratively. Subaru was talking to a damn bug. I'll show you my weakness and my fragility, but I'll never let you see me give up. I take it back. Roswaal is definitely Thanos. Subaru really told her, you piss me off, and I love you regardless. This is love. Furthermore, this is storytelling at its finest. The entire time Subaru and Amelia are sharing probably the most touching moment ever, Subaru is looking directly at her and nothing else. This is reflected in his eyes, and only toward the very end, when Amelia realizes what this means, do her eyes reflect Subaru. Poetry in goddamn motion. Everything makes sense, and the subtleties during big moments is what I live for. This is love. Also, I don't know if I can be of any help, but would you give me the right to fight the same enemies you fight? Guys, ReZero is the snafu of isekai. This is love. This quote has the exact same intent as let me distort your life. This is peak. I love this show. I love the characters. I love my own life. Other notes include Siri, play Believe by Thousand Band Fawny. Someone kill him? Nah, shawty trifling. Writing on the walls of the trial room whilst being rejected by the trial room is batshit insane. Did I miss something? Echidna just being a major hater and a math minor. Like Jesus Christ, let the little girl grieve. It's irritating to learn that all this crazy villainous stuff is happening in the forest, and all little sheltered beyond belief Amelia can think is these things are happening because I didn't listen, which is annoying, but it's as designed. Just as I explained in the previous ReZero video, I believe whenever a character acts as they should, we have to accept their choice. Even if we know it's wrong, they don't know it's wrong. Having said that, Juice, are you fucking stupid? Not only did she show you, but she told you. She rewrote bro out of the picture. And the next words out of your mouth are, let's defeat her together. Open your fucking eyes. You do not live this. Other notes include, this dumbass being selfish, not letting Fortuna leave to help Juice, who just popped a Yerk 9000. Roswaal kinda not wrong. This is really the allegory of the cave on full display. He will never change because he wants to die right. Ram's position is so weird. Siri, play What Do You Want by Nav featuring ASAP Ferg. I can't make it 400 years, but I can spend the days I have with you. Even if I can't be with you forever, I can treasure you tomorrow and right now. This is love. Not necessarily romantic, but this is love. Now, I have a theory which may be backed by Puck. It's a theory similar to Stockholm Syndrome, but not quite. In this case, Roswaal is chasing after Hector. Not out of empathy nor loyalty, but I believe he intends to become what he hates, given that Hector is the reason his everything was taken from him. Along his journey, he became one of the most powerful magic users, but he also started to speak and dress like Hector. Now, it was slight, and I only heard it once, but I noted that both Hector's speech pattern and attire was familiar. Then, in episode 11, Puck tells Roswaal that he'll never be a devil, which I think is a reference to Hector because that's what he was referred to as in the flashbacks, a devil. But I could be wrong, and I don't think it matters too much anyway, but if true, it makes more sense knowing this about him. Other notes include, Siri, play Keep My Spirit Alive by Kanye West. Damn, that Elsa really is crazy. Why did Garfield bite her, LMFAO? I like this new Amelia, mid-speech clapping 2 rabbit. I just wish Subaru was a little stronger. Like, imagine a training arc. Oh my fucking god, he might beat Goku. They came out swinging for the damn stratosphere with this one. I love a long-ass intro episode. This arc deserves this long-ass intro episode. We see Subaru face something he's never had to face before. I think the reason he feels sickened by what happens is because it goes against his soul. For his consciousness to be overwritten and warped like that has to be horrifyingly uncomfortable. Not only do terrible things happen in that event, but he cheers for those things. Psychologically, this might be one of the most gruesome things he's had to witness and bear. Also, Jesus Christ, is every damn Archbishop here at once? What is this? The redacted arc from the undisputed Top Zero manga One Piece? Other notes include, bring back Rim this season, please, I miss her. Gasp, a villain, quite possibly the worst villain ever. Amelia, how can you not remember, bro? You saw him in the trial. The Kitty Mancer, all hell no. Okay, we're on track by calling Reinhardt. Never mind, bread's cooked. Never mind, saved. Never mind, we're fucked. Mimi so real for that. Garf so real for that. Am I stupid? From what I've been shown, if Amelia remembers Pandora, she should remember Regulus. Simple as that. I will die on that hill. But for now, I shall let it go and enjoy the rest of the season. Al tells Subaru, when you proclaim that you are the hope, you carry the full weight of that heroic delusion. And good God almighty, bro spittin'. In other news, Amelia saying, Subaru is my one and only, and I know exactly who I'll love when I figure out how to. This is love. This is love. Oh, my other notes include... Would you still love me if I was a Wayne? What would be crazy is if they blew the broadcast tower up right after this speech. The Fire Princess is kinda cool. I can't tell whether or not the sword can't be unsheathed unless there's a worthy opponent is a bit meant to provoke or he's dead serious. Regardless, Reinhardt's so tough, dude. So tough. Other notes include Fire Princess so tough. Fire Princess, so tough. Die alone as you drown in your own delusions. Fire Princess, so tough. I need a woman to haunt me like Elsa. I feel like this is a bit out of character for Wilhelm to be whining about killing his already dead wife. This guy was in battle with her mere seconds before Reinhardt showed up and solved the issue. Like, what was he planning to do? Die? Then again, before they left, Reinhardt did tell Wilhelm that he wasn't calm. I think it sucks that it had to be Reinhardt to deal the finishing blow, but it also makes the most sense since he was the one who inherited the power at an inopportune time and technically killed her the first time. Speaking of, I love and hate the dynamic of Heinkel, Wilhelm, and Reinhardt. It's understandable that Heinkel would be a piece of shit alcoholic. His mom died, and it's both Wilhelm and Reinhardt's faults. So I mean, I hate the guy, but his position makes sense. as do the others. And lastly, although this respite exists without major main cast casualties, this is not bittersweet in the slightest like the ending song and scenes make it appear. We didn't win, but we didn't lose. Nonetheless, what a way to end a season. Again, the author really knows how to keep the story moving. However, this is similar to the start of season 2, which reminds me, if Rem doesn't show up in season 4, I will kill myself. Since the 4th season is currently still airing, I will not be including it in this video. However, I will be watching it because this shit is awesome. Other notes include, bro, I do not need to see this shit again. Y'all are padding time and you're pissing me off. Greed! Greed! Aw, they love each other and always have. It makes me sick. All cuh, Yuli's name gone. Emilia talking about some, is this a friend of yours? All cuh. ReZero is quite possibly top 10 anime of all time. Maybe even top 5. I'm always in for an entertaining watch, but I'm a sucker for a thought-provoking watch. ReZero is both of these things. I'm excited to see where the story goes. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, or whatever.